Welcome to the Keilor Downs College Soccer School. We're so glad that you were able to successfully earn yourself a place in the program. My name is Josip Loncharic. I'm the director of the program, and with my colleague George Kataforis, we founded the program in 2015 and have since seen it grow to the current level that it's at and the current level that your children will experience next year, and hopefully the beginning of a 6-year journey with us. So this is just a quick summary of where we're at, what it looks like for you as a new student and as new parents to our program. And first of all, we acknowledge that the current program is a very large one. And as you can see in this group photo that was taken earlier this year prior to the COVID outbreak, that it is a very unique group of kids from all ethnicities, all backgrounds, all skill levels, both genders. And we are very proud of the achievements of all of our students in the program. Basically, our vision and philosophy of the Keilor Downs College Soccer School is that we really focus on developing the individual in the early years. We believe that functional technique and game sense is vital for their development. We promote them in their after-school sessions and later on in their progression into competitions, not based on their age, but their current skill level and their current physical capacity to deal with those levels of pressure. We call this the relative age effect, where we try and find kids the right level for their current status in their growth through puberty. And we believe in a long-term project to help develop skillful, creative, and most importantly, intelligent players, so that whichever team they play for in the future, with whichever coach or whichever club that ends up being, they have the capacity to work in any formation, under any structure, and that will allow them to be flexible and adaptable players so that they've got greater opportunity to play the game at the highest level. But above all else, for us, we do focus on the person that comes before the footballer, and that for us is very, very important. We believe that if we understand the needs of the players, which we get to do because we see them every single day of the week, and we also develop empathy for them, and they also learn to develop empathy for others. We look at their mental health and their holistic development as a person. So from that, we've been able to create this current environment, which we believe is the best possible environment for students to learn and for players to develop in. This little image just shows you the 6 areas that a player needs to have in order to be successful. This is a study done by the Professional Footballers Association of Australia to look at the pathways of former Socceroos. And the first one is having the passion, so falling in love with the game. We believe that most of the kids that will be joining us already have that passion. If not, they'll be developing it very quickly through our program. The second is the support from you, the family, okay, and the sacrifices that you make for their game, and not necessarily paying a lot of money for private coaches and other things like that, but sacrifices in terms of time, in terms of effort, and also in terms of goal setting with your children and making sure that they are comfortable. The third one there is the mentality. So it's irrelevant to us where your child starts at in the program. For us, it's most important where they end up and what skills they have. It is a very long, and it's not a linear pathway to success by any stretch of the imagination. We're more than happy to work with players that might not be on the highest level of the skill spectrum, but they have a high degree of determination to improve and get better. The fourth one there is the environment, and this is getting out to play. And we know that our environment has many different factors to it that are beneficial to young kids in their development. And that's just through the past experience and also the reflection and the feedback that our students and their families give us now. We know that practice is very important. So the free play and playing in the schoolyard, playing small-sided games, as well as the structured training with focuses on specific elements of the game are very important. And the last one is the pathway, where if a child has the capacity to, we encourage them to play up and to always challenge themselves. Nothing kills their development as much as being comfortable. So we always try to make them uncomfortable in their game. So the program's broken up effectively into 2 parts. There's the first 3 years of the program, which we call the Behavioural Development School, and the final 3 years of the program, which is the preparation for senior football. So in that first phase, and this is the one that you'll be joining us in, we teach the principles of play, which is penetration, width, mobility, and improvisation when you've got the ball, and delay, concentration, balance, and restraint when you don't have the ball. We teach that through various style. Sometimes we'll use isolated practices. Most of the time they'll be holistic practices, lots of video of the sessions being filmed and then shared with the kids in order to accelerate their learning in this stuff. We teach behaviours and habits of top players, as recommended to us by Dr. Ron Smith from the Australian Institute of Sport. We follow his work very closely, and he's a strong supporter of the Keilor Downs College Soccer School and the direction we want to go in. We also refine and correct technical skills. So there's no point us progressing to more intense crossing drills if we don't have the technique of passing done first, considering that passing is about 82% of the game. We introduce goal setting and self-reflection to the kids through Microsoft Teams and also through direct self-reflection when we speak to them after the session. And also we focus really strongly on developing a growth mindset, and we model that ourselves, wherein mistakes are normal, mistakes are part of the game, failure is acceptable and very much a huge learning opportunity for us, and we encourage that for all of our students. As they progress through to year 10, 11 and 12, we start to look more at their specific positions based on their physical capacity, based on their skill set, based on whatever they've done in the previous years with us at the school level and also at club level. We then start to develop resilience, a strong mindset, and also developing grit, which means they're determined and understanding enough to know that there will be setbacks with their development. They will miss out on squads, not just at school, but in their teams and clubs, and trials will go wrong and they'll be crying, there'll be tears. The important thing is to understand that it is not the end of the journey. It's just a roadblock that you need to overcome in order to become a stronger person. We'll start to slowly implement their physical conditioning and resistance training as they get to those final 2 years of their school time. We also understand the roles in common playing systems played across the world and obviously played in Australia as well. So they're comfortable with a 3-4-3 as well as a 5-3-2 as well as a 4-3-3 and a 4-4-2 and any other variation that teams are playing these days. We prepare them for trials at senior clubs. So we give them the tools to be standing at the end of the trial with confidence, so they're not falling apart when things don't go their way, and also that they go and approach their coaches in a confident manner so that they're remembered. And then obviously we have tournaments, tours, and competitions for further development, including trips overseas. In this diagram, we just wanted to highlight where we like our students to be. And the first one is the comfort zone, which we try to avoid. This is doing those things that you're already really good at. So, for example, using a left foot to shoot. If you're a natural left footer, we'll be trying to get you out of your comfort zone so that your right foot becomes at least competent, if not as good as your left foot. What we try to get into is the flow zone and also the zone of proximal development. So in the flow zone, we're looking for purposeful practice and the challenge is suitable. So there's a reason to what we're doing. So for example, if we're working on the principles of defending, there will be a natural flow on from the introduction to the session all the way through to the end game for them to apply that skill. And in the zone of proximal development, this is where we get really nitty and gritty and detailed in our development profile of the players. And the challenge is very high and very demanding. This generally happens again in those older years once we've done the foundation, because as you know, if you build a house with a rocky foundation, it's not going to last very long. What we try to avoid as much as possible is the impossible zone where the challenge is too high and then they become disillusioned with the game. This year we had 53 girls, 75 boys at the start of the year. And in 2020, our original group that started in the program back in 2015, as you can see in this picture, we have Kyle, Sam, Philip, Emily, Yasmin, and Emily, and they've just graduated or are going to graduate by the time you've watched this presentation. They're all completing their exams now, and they're fantastic role models for our young kids. We'd love to see your kids standing at the end of it. If you take it into account, when we started the program, we started with 25 students in this group, and we were left with 6. And to be fair, the original group of students that we took in are significantly behind in their development as opposed to the current ones that we've taken in, including your generation that we've just taken in now. And that's just a normal thing in terms of the program not being established before, and we weren't attracting the same type of players. Now we're getting the siblings of kids that have already been in the program, and ourselves as coaches, we are far better equipped to teach players the fundamentals and also the more intricate details of the game because of our experiences and our improved coaching licenses. So year 1, that's what it looked like. That was the group combined with students that were already at the school. Year 2, started to grow, we changed the uniform to the colour that we stay with now. Year 3, again, progression, growth. Year 4, Year 5, and finally the photo that you saw previously, which was taken in February of this year, the Year 6 group, current group, of which 6 of them will move on into university and TAFE studies, and the rest will remain in the program, or the majority will. In terms of our coaching staff, we have 3 regulars, and we obviously look to add extra coaches to our curriculum as much as possible. So our main regular, his name is Zane. He's a strength and conditioning coach, a former student of the school currently completing his physiotherapy degree. Next to him on the right-hand side is Adam. Adam works exclusively with our goalkeepers. He is a goalkeeper coach at MPL level in Australia. He's also the founder and owner of Bodytech Fitness in Sunshine. He's been with us for a couple of years, and we've just agreed another extension of his contract for 2021 and hopefully beyond that. And then down the bottom, we have Sarah, who's the model student of our program, in the sense of Sarah was in our school already when we started the program. She then moved on into community football. Then from that was given an opportunity at MPL football, is currently playing at Calder United. And she's doing the Mini Roos coaching at Calder, as well as being a regular coach with us for the past 2 years. Fabulous young person, great role model for the kids, and a true believer in what we do from her experiences directly in the program. The other person that we have on board, his name is Michael. He's an osteopath, and he comes in from time to time when we require him. And this photo was taken of him in Canberra with us at the Kanga Cup, where we took him with us for the trip to make sure that everyone's body stayed as fit as possible in such a difficult competition. So some of the opportunities that will present themselves in 2020 is the main one for you guys is School Sports Victoria has its interschool sports competition, where if you win your local district round, you go to a regional round and then the state finals. Usually our teams do quite well in the local round, get to the regional round, and sometimes in the last couple of years, our Year 8 girls and Year 7 girls have made it to state finals. When we move into those competitions, we also have a tournament called the Bill Turner Cup and Bill Turner Trophy, which is a national tournament where qualifiers begin in your area in Victoria, and that's for kids next year that are born in 2006 or younger. It's a under 15s tournament that gets played in the final gets played in Sydney. We've been entering that for the last couple of years, and we've managed to reach semi-final stages in Victoria on both occasions. So we're hoping in the next couple of years to have a couple more teams maybe make it to the national part of the competition, where we have to go interstate with them. We have the local Brimbank Cup futsal at Derrimut Gym, which is a tournament for Year 7s and Year 8s separately, and boys and girls separately. And that's just a little tournament that goes for a day with all the teams in our region. We have state futsal, which we enter from time to time. Obviously, this year we didn't because of COVID, and that can lead to potentially a trip to Brisbane, where we go and play national championships in Brisbane and in Sydney, depending on which year it falls under that they're in there. We have friendly matches with MPL clubs, with community clubs, with other schools, and obviously intra-club or intra-school matches. We have gone to interstate tournaments such as Brisbane Futsal on 3 occasions, Kanga Cup in 2018, and we were planning to go this year to Kanga Cup, but obviously COVID cancelled that tournament. And for the first time, we had an international trip where we went to Spain for the International Players' Cup in Madrid, where we played at the headquarters of the Spanish national team, and we played against the likes of Atletico Madrid and Rayo Vallecano, as well as a couple of Australian teams. And then the last 2 days of the tour, the boys were actually training at Real Madrid with their academy, under-18s academy coach, and getting some top quality life lessons and football lessons there. And that's something we want to continue in the future. We believe that there's nothing better than going on a trip to learn about yourself as a person and yourself as a player, and seeing how good the standard is overseas and how much more you have to work when you get back. That's a photo of our boys in front of the multi-million-dollar training complex at Real Madrid, which is absolutely incredible. You can see some of this footage on our Facebook page and also on our YouTube channel. So just going through your pathway. So 7 to 9, you have a training session during school with your class, which you'll see with all the other kids. You're blocked on at a certain time when you come out of your normal PE class and do soccer with the other 2 classes combined. So it's a soccer class. You then have your gender-based after-school training. So at the moment, Tuesday after school is year 7, 8, 9 boys, and Thursday after school is year 7, 8, and 9 girls. That may change. It may stay the same next year. More than likely, it will stay the same. Then we have optional sessions and optional things down the track. So things like year 10, we have an applied soccer elective where you start to learn about coaching and do some of your coaching qualifications. In year 11 and 12, we have an option for you to do sport and recreation as a VET subject, which is a vocational education training subject that prepares you for TAFE if you choose to go to TAFE, or gives you a VCE option where you can do an exam for it and get points towards your ATAR score, and also VCE PE. Beyond year 12, there are coaching opportunities, as we said with Sarah, and we've got a current year 10 and year 11 student, boy and girl, that have been helping us coach this year because they're really keen to learn more about coaching. So we're hoping in the next couple of years, a lot more of the coaches that we have will be people that have come through our program, that understand the way we work, understand our philosophy, and understand our sessions, which will make a far greater experience for all of you students to be able to learn from one of your peers. And we love to show this image because behind the success that we see on the outside are so many things that people don't see, such as your dedication, your hard work, your good habits, those disappointments you've had, the sacrifices you've made, the times that you've failed, and how persistent you've been throughout the journey. Sadly, we live in a world where we only think about the end product, but everything that goes into the end product actually makes the end product possible. So for us, we teach those values and core attributes as quickly as possible, and we hope that you as parents do the same thing at home to help us. So to become a professional, you need luck, obviously, and you need to have a great first touch, good ability in one-on-ones to attack and defend. You need to be able to pass, shoot, cross, bend outside of the foot. All of those techniques have to be competent for you, preferably on both sides. And you have to be able to run with the ball at speed in spaces when it applies to you. Okay. On top of all of that is your decision-making processes. So what you see, how you scan, what you interpret, the decision you make, and then the execution of the skill. And these things happen over and over again in training sessions and matches. And the way we get better at it is by training it. And we believe that if you treat your mind like a parachute, it'll work a lot better, because we know a parachute works really well when the mind is open. And we will grow alongside your students and you as parents. And I guess the testament is our older students wanting to still be a part of our program in whatever way, shape, or form that presents itself in the future, which is a rare thing for kids when they finish school, to be so connected to something that they were a part of. So our expectations of you as a student, when you have training, you're in the correct soccer school uniform the whole day, regardless of when your training session is, and you're on the pitch ready to go, shin pads on, and have your own drink bottle filled with water. Obviously, that's even more strongly enforced with COVID restrictions, as opposed to we used to have drink bottles on the side that you could squirt into your mouth. That's out of the question for now. You must have your own drink bottle. And it's good to wear runners as well as boots, runners during the day, and then change into your boots. Occasionally, we'll train on a synthetic pitch. Occasionally, we'll do some futsal for training purposes. Generally, we'll train on grass, so therefore you'll need boots with studs on them. Otherwise, there'll be times in winter that you'll really struggle and slip when it's wet. We train when it's wet. We don't train when there's lightning and thunder. At Keilor Downs College, you're expected to keep up to date in the classroom and with all of your homework. That's non-negotiable for us. You need to be achieving at least 50% as an average for all of your subjects. And that's something that we can work with you in terms of, I'm an English teacher, Mr. Kataforis is a maths teacher, all of your other teachers are always willing to help you with work, but the onus comes on you to go and find them and seek that help. If you fall behind in your classwork and it starts to become a trend, you won't be training, you'll be using that time, you'll be sitting outside while the group trains, and you'll be catching up for an hour and a half with your homework, however long that takes. Usually it takes one session and you miss it that much that it never happens again. And it always happens that somebody thinks that they can get away with it, but you guys won't be that generation, because your environment will be brilliant reports on you as people. These terms, as we said before, are non-negotiable. Okay, we believe that 50% is the absolute minimum. I'd be aiming for 100% on everything I do. And that's just the way I operate, and I think you should start to operate like that as well. In terms of social media use, we have a KDC Soccer School Facebook page. We have an Instagram page. and we have our YouTube channel. All of that's just used to promote the program, but more so holistically to promote the children in the program. The program itself doesn't require promotion because we're a zone school. So for us, if you live in the area, you've got an opportunity to be at Keilor Downs. We believe that our students are the best promoters of the program. When they go to their clubs and their coaches see how quickly they're developing, there seems to be a trend that's pretty easy to follow. Right environment, coaches that care about them equals perfect opportunity for a person to grow. How you use your personal social media is your choice. However, remember, whatever goes up online may never come down. So that's something important for you to remember. In terms of the perfect combination, for those that want to try to be professionals, 2 to 3 sessions at your club, hopefully with quality coaching. Combine that with 1 or 2 sessions per week with us at KDC. For you guys in the first couple of years, you'll get your 2 sessions, no problem. Okay, and then you have a match on the weekends, plus any other matches we have for school. You're on par with the rest of the world. The difference is how long you can stay at that level and how much you can improve through your club system. In the school system, we have a pretty strict curriculum that we follow, which is taken from some of the best academies in the world and modified to suit us here in Australia, and we believe that it works. For those that don't want to be professionals, they can just have fun and train their 2 sessions a week. They'll improve, they'll get to experience things with the other group, and they'll have a great time in the Keilor Downs College Soccer School. Because the reality is, in terms of professionals, 0.018% of players in the English Premier League academy system make it to professional football. So in Australia, you can imagine that those numbers are quite significantly lower. So for us, having fun, learning about the game, and especially this last part, if you want to get into coaching later on, we give you the opportunities to do that through our program. I'm also an FFA accredited trainer and assessor for coaches, and I'm currently undertaking my C license assessor qualification, which means I'll be able to deliver the C license in the future to kids in our program. At the moment, I can deliver all of the skill training, mini roos, game training certificates to the kids, which will get them qualified to coach at any community club and some MPL clubs as well. That's something that they can choose to do later on down the track, and we don't charge anything for that. We just make sure they cover their fee with FV, and we run the program for them at school. Our biggest focus is development. We don't care about results. We honestly don't bother with results. We want the kids to want to win themselves when they're playing the game, but winning comes secondary to what our objective is, which is to develop players ready for senior football in the future. A lot of the time, by doing that in our training, our teams are very competitive and they often do win. But for us, the winning has to be a byproduct of a good program, and it will never change for us. And that's our belief. And in this quote here, you can see yourself. It's not about how much you run or how hard you kick somebody. You have to be using your brain, because at the highest level, everybody can run and everybody can kick, and only the ones that are clever and smart and technically proficient end up having the career. Okay? We expect this. We expect it to be a roller coaster journey filled with ups and downs. We know there'll be slip-ups and you'll be naughty from time to time and you'll make mistakes. We understand that you're going to be teenagers growing up and going through puberty and having hormonal changes. We are school teachers by profession. We deal with this every day. And we are going to be hard on you, but we're not going to be mean with you. We will work with you and with you as parents as well, with the students and parents, to make sure that this journey has more ups and downs. And when it does have a down, it's not a long down. It comes straight back up again. That's part of life. Okay, if you want to get to the top, you can read through this if you want when you get this. But you do have to understand the reality of the country we're in and how difficult it is. We saw it firsthand when we went to Atletico Madrid and we were beaten soundly. They beat everybody in the tournament. They beat us very comfortably in the opening game, and the difference in level was quite significant. It's given us a benchmark, and we were able to speak to their coaches and bring a lot of their philosophies back to here in terms of intensity of training. Fortunately for us, our curriculum was already very much in line with theirs and also with Real Madrid's in what we're trying to teach kids. So we've got that part of it done. It's lifting the intensity and making the standard of every session super high, which is our next challenge. And I think you'll notice that next year when you come to us, as you start to see older groups training, you'll see there's a difference in intensity as you go up the year levels. There are many other jobs in sport that are not related to being a professional footballer, and we think that being in the Keilor Downs College Soccer School program, you'll actually develop a passion for these and an understanding for them. We are heavily involved in the community. We've had a partnership with the Keilor Views Primary School where our students go across and they run clinics and sessions for the kids. Obviously, this year was a little bit funny with COVID, but in the previous 3 years, we've done this and we'll continue to do it in the future and run gala days at our school as well. Our main form of communication with parents is Compass. With kids, it's Microsoft Teams. They're both school-based communication devices. They'll have that on their phone and also on their laptops. We strongly encourage that you check it in the morning when you get up and also before sleep if there's been any updates to training schedules or cancellations due to heat, anything like that. It's very important you check it. We also share lots of resources on there, so ebooks, yoga, Pilates, analysis stuff. It's all done through Microsoft Teams, so start getting used to using that. And we'll use our Year 8 to 12 students next year to mentor our Year 7 students and guide them through this. It's very quick to pick it up. In terms of equipment duty, you guys are required to take all the equipment out and pack it up when the coaches are coming from class. A lot of the times we'll already have set things up and you'll only have to pack up at the end. You do that for the first year, and then the next group of Year 7s will have that as part of their apprenticeship and their development and growth. In the after-school sessions, that's your predominant objective, is to pack up the whole session, and if you need to, bring stuff out. All the stuff's close by. We've got a shipping container near the pitch that's been converted into a storage room. There are no excuses for this. There are no exceptions for this. Everybody has had to do it, and it'll be part of your initiation into the program and your apprenticeship. It is our equipment. The money that you put towards this program goes exclusively to the program. So all the money we raise goes towards predominantly equipment and coaches. Not us, but the external coaches that we hire. Now, the cost of the program for 2019 was $295. That'll remain the same for 2020. So it's $225, I believe, for the actual program, and the uniform is the rest of that cost. So the following year, you don't have to repurchase the uniform, especially if it still fits. If you lose items of it or you rip things like socks or you outgrow things, you can purchase the items. Okay. And yeah, like we said, we are completely self-funded as a program, so we don't get any extra money from the school to run it. Everything that we raise from your fees goes back towards your kids. There's no senior team to feed. It's used for that. It's used for guest speakers. It's used for the end of year presentation, trophies, and that sort of stuff. It all goes into a pool, and we just spread out the cost throughout the year. The uniform cost, you look after it, and you don't need to replace it. As I said before, you put your name on things, and things come back to you. Extra costs at school level is interschool sports. When you go out and play, there's a fee attached to the bus and the referee cost and that. Any excursions we have where we go out of the school will probably incur a bus cost. And guest speakers, from time to time, we may have to charge a little bit, but generally speaking, we've always got fundraising money that we've raised in the past to use for that. This is what the uniform looks like, and we'll fit you out with that next year. Because of the COVID situation, we can't come in, get you in and fit you up. So we've got them in stock. You get an Adidas shirt, a Jovova rain jacket, Adidas shorts, and Adidas socks. If you are heading to DFO and you manage to find royal blue Palmer shorts, they're called, or socks that look like that, feel free to buy them if you get them for a cheaper price than that. We get them at a wholesale price, and we directly pass that on to you. There's no money to be made off uniforms at a school level. It's not something we're interested in doing. For us, it's just the quality of the item itself. So we've found that Adidas clothing in general lasts us a lot longer. The kids seem to like it. And in terms of the quality of the product itself, it is quite good. It matches up with most of our inter-school sports kits, which have numbers and sponsors and things on it when we go and play competition. If you're buying the replacement kit, that's something for you to worry about for later. There's also, we have some of these limited stock left over from last year, where we purchased a batch of compression tops. They equate to $20 a top. That's probably more for cold weather. They're useful, especially if you wear them at club level as well, and you have a blue top at club to keep your body heat in, and they help a little bit with recovery. Not very expensive, but again, if you can buy your own one somewhere else for that price, not a problem with you buying that. You take care of your uniform, you replace it, you only wear it on the days you have training. Pretty simple with the uniform. In terms of extracurricular, so obviously none of these things happened this year because of the COVID situation, but in the past we've raised money through our annual Bunnings barbecue. Last year was our best year with $1,900 raised, and we used that to purchase a new set of goals, which will be arriving in January. And then we do a Cadbury fundraiser sometimes we do raffles. The Cadbury fundraiser helped us raise $6,000, which is sitting in the account ready for us to purchase a high-tech camera that films sessions and edits the footage and puts it into highlights, clips, and things in the future. quite expensive, but we think they're a good investment for learning. We have scholarships from the Charon Foundation in the past, and we'll contact them again for future scholarships. And then we have some unofficial partnerships with local and A-League clubs where we recommend them players. We're working on a different partnership with Western United as well, being the most local of the A-League clubs. And the last one there is we've recently developed a partnership with the Spanish Academy Escuela Huesca, which one of our boys, when we were in Spain, was scouted by them and was picked up, and is actually living in Spain now, doing his Year 11 studies in Spain and playing full-time at their academy. They're so impressed with him that they want future players to go through them as well. So we're in the process of writing up an agreement with them where players can go for 2-week trials in the future when they're looking for certain players once they've been filmed in our training sessions. So that's an exciting development for any kids that are really super keen on moving to Europe. At the start of each term, the kids will be given a calendar that looks like this. It'll be a digital version that you can print out at home, or you can just obviously put it onto your phone so you can check it. It's got before school training, after school training, any other training. Everything's color coded to suit your specific group, and your during the day sessions will be done on Compass. So you'll see that on your own Compass calendar, and I'll go through that with the kids when they come to us next year. In terms of our alumni prior to the program, we've got a whole heap of players that have had success playing in various levels in Victoria, some in the A-League. One played internationally, Jason Chelina for Ajax Amsterdam, PSV, and obviously for Australia at the 2006 World Cup. And fortunately, in the last couple of months, we've been interviewing some of these people and getting their experiences of what it was like being a student at Keilor Downs, and we'll continue to do so in the future and bring them in as well to share some of their knowledge with the kids. In terms of our own personal, more recent success stories, we've seen 3 girls earn scholarships at Calder United through an informal partnership that we have with them. That's Sarah, Emily, and Navleen. More recently, we've had Dante, Holly, Shanae, Martin, Thomas, Mohammed, and Anthony transition from community to MPL football. In the case of Holly, she's now transferred into the NTC program, or TIDC. We've had a couple of boys that have gone from never playing soccer anywhere, just at school level, to going straight into MPL. We've had scholarships for a couple of kids at St. Albans Saints. They're a club that we work closely with as well, because they are so close to us in proximity. A lot of our kids play for them, and we've always had a really good relationship with them. And then we've had a whole heap of kids that have successfully transitioned from our program and not playing soccer into community club level. There's more to add to that list in the last 2 years, but I haven't had the time to add them in there. And we also have girls specifically and a couple of boys that have broken into senior football in the last 12 months. And that's a testament to them as people to stick through it and work hard and continue to take information from us and from their clubs. And we know that number will go higher in the future, because we personally believe that the quality of our coaching is far greater today than it was in the last couple of years, especially when a lot of these names were coming through. We've learned a lot, they've learned a lot, and your children are going to get the best experience of us, and hopefully in a couple of years' time we'll be better still to help guide them into the final phases of their development. Just going to finish with a little video before I leave you with some questions. And basically, we look at youth development as something like this. It takes a lot of people, and there are a lot of people involved in the different levels as you try and reach the top. It is a team effort in terms of the school, where we try and help and guide you. And not everybody will reach the summit, not everybody will get to the top, but we hope that the ones that were part of the journey and helped somebody else get there are also proud of their achievements, because it's a difficult thing. Professional football is not an easy thing to get into. What you can get from football, the camaraderie, the friendship, the skill development, the discipline, the lifestyle, the experience that you have, some of those things you can't get from anything else in the world. So we always want kids to appreciate the value of it, and then hopefully 1 or 2 of them may reach that pinnacle and that summit, and they'll help inspire another generation of young kids to do the same thing. All right, so common questions. I'll try and answer some of them now, and obviously you can email me at the end of this presentation and send them to me if you want any further clarification. So club training commitments are often one that get asked. we're completely flexible and adaptable. All we ask for is a little bit of notice for our planning purposes. So, for example, we train on a Tuesday after school, and 7 or 8 boys decide that they're going to go to club, but they can't tell us that they're going to club, and they can't make it to the after school training. Well, we won't require 3 coaches or 4 coaches. We may require less, in which case we can save a bit of money and use it for when we need it. So we just ask for that communication. If you need to leave regularly at an earlier time because of training commitments, that's fine. We'll know that. We'll plan for that. If you're planning, well, hopefully you're not, but we plan for people to stay in the program at least till the end of year 9. And what that allows for us is 2 things. First of all, it gives us the opportunity to put in the time into them and show them that if they stick to it, they can develop. And it takes time, and there are no shortcuts. And the second reason is because they're grouped in such a way through their home groups, if we lose a kid at year 9 that doesn't want to be in the program, there's a chance they may have to exit that home group and allow somebody to come in and take their spot. So they may lose their friendship group as well. And that's part of the commitment that we've asked from parents this year, and everyone that we've spoken to, that we perhaps had a little question mark over whether you'd give us a couple of years to work through your child's development. You've all said yes, so we're going to take your word for it. We understand that circumstances change down the track, but we just try to anticipate them as best as possible so that a kid can come in and take your child's spot if you choose to exit earlier than year 9. Once you get to year 10, the program becomes more of a before school, after school one. And in that case, it's a lot easier for us to add kids to it. But ideally, we want to add them earlier so they get those fundamentals and not playing catch up. And in terms of inter-school sports, can you play other sports? Yes, you can. If you're good at volleyball, you're good at tennis, you're good at basketball, AFL, play it. We recommend it. Go out there because you learn other things from other sports. From baseball, if you're a catcher, you'll learn about scanning and eye position. From AFL, you'll learn about 360-degree movement and obviously hardness on the ball. From netball, you'll learn about moving off the ball. From basketball, there's so much to learn about defending and screening. So there's so many things you'll learn from other sports. If you can manage it with your school timetable, go to as much as you can, and we highly recommend it, and a lot of our kids do it. And the last 2 things is in regards to our inter-school sports, the more you do, the more days you miss of school. So you do need to balance out your time, and we hope that that won't be an issue for you moving forward. And you will also participate in the athletics carnival and the swimming carnival with your home groups and your house colours as well. And a lot of the time our soccer kids do quite well, especially in the athletic side of things. Swimming not as much, not as common a sport, I guess, anymore. But yeah, that's something we strongly recommend. And the question is now, at the end of your journey, what will you achieve? So this is our girls in their first season in the Premier League Cup competition a couple of years ago. They reached the final at Amy Park before a Melbourne Victory match. They lost the final 1-0 to Maribyrnong. And a couple of those girls are now going to go into year 12. So it's quite a young group. We're hoping that they can maybe match that achievement this year. They lost this year's chance to do it, in 2021. And this is our boys at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium at Real Madrid. And obviously they had the experience of a lifetime. We did as coaches as well. So much learning, so much information and networking that we took from that. And the behavior and the attitude of our kids was a testament to our parents and also to what we've instilled in the program in terms of the culture. So that's what we want your children to achieve and be part of in the future. And who knows where their journey will go and what they will achieve. Thank you very much for your time. We hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to email me. You've got my email address from the one that I sent you this document. And obviously you can call me at school on 9365 8000. If I can't get to your call because I'm teaching, I will call you back. Thank you.